Hey, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. For some, it's the first visit, and for others, you're returning maybe for the first time in a long time because more time than I anticipated has passed since posting my last video reviewing some of my reading material. But for this video, that's what we'll be doing. And it's also a wind down with me video as we review some of what I'm reading or will be reading. Because a lot of times I may not get to do any reading until the end of my day, or if I'm lucky, I'll get to do some reading at the very beginning of my day, like most people. And in this video, I'll be elephant earring some content that I want to make sure that I read, and some that might be interesting to any of my viewers and these magazine readers. But some housekeeping to take care of before diving into. For your listening pleasure and mine, you may hear the new DJ Khaled album in the background playing. The album is Khaled, and the music right now is courtesy of YouTube. And speaking of YouTube, in addition to reading paperback like I like to do, I've also been tuning into some audiobooks. Them both being available on YouTube, and written by Sister Soldier. If you're a fan, you know that the sequel to Coldest Winter Ever was released late 2020, early 2021. And in preparation for purchasing and reading her sequel, I tuned into the multi-part audiobook available on YouTube. I do not have the audiobook publisher's YouTube handle available. I don't know it by memory, but he also offers another book written by Sister Soldier titled Midnight. So I'm listening to that audiobook right now. I have listened to The Coldest Winter Ever in preparation to purchase and read Sister Soldier's sequel, Life After Death, or something like that. I actually have the cover of it that can tell me. And it is Life After Death, Sister Soldier. And here is that cover art. Moving on, courtesy of magazines.com by way of Avon, I had the opportunity to subscribe at discounted rates to a number of magazines of my choosing, and for a year or two lengthwise. So about 5 magazines and 1 or 2 year subscriptions at discounted rates, courtesy of magazines.com by way of avon.com. I had the opportunity as an independent sales representative, so I took advantage. And some of the magazines that I've renewed subscriptions to are Elle, Food and Wine, Sports Illustrated, A couple of those have come already. And Bazaar here, a couple more of those. And again, Food and Wine. So if there was something like GQ magazine or People, well, I'm sure there was People, but if there was something like GQ magazine, I would have even chosen a subscription to a men's magazine, just to balance out the content that I already take in most often. So, in addition to those, I also am still subscribed to Vogue, and that's here. This here is the June July edition of the magazine, featuring Kaya Gerber, a model grown up on the front cover. So I will be preparing to read from um, one or two of these because I've probably already have gone through and read one or two of these by now, and will start with Food and Wine because I was really excited for this piece of variety, and wanted to develop my appreciation for the food and wine culture. One thing I've noticed being in quarantine and all of the restrictions that came with COVID is that food and drink options are really, really flexible. They are like food and wine are two of the most flexible and evolving parts of our lives that we have control over. And you notice in times of quarantine and emergency and seasonal change, geographical change, that your food and drink options will change at no cost, at no expense, but a lot probably to our pleasure. And I notice here advertisers in Food and Wine magazine include Capital One, cereal, Kellogg's, um, insurance, Geico, things of that nature. I won't name drop or name call way too much. But starting at the table of contents, have I passed it? Table of contents. Okay, starting at the table of contents is obviously going to give me a clue as to what I want to select to read. And their sections include starters and sides, a setup as if it were a menu. I think these are actually recipes, which, when you think about it, it makes sense that that's what you'll find here. The recipes in this magazine. Um, I'm just naturally interested in content and what a writer has to say about food and how they say it and the visual that goes along with it. So I'm really into this subscription. Stir fry recipe. Oh, it was really good. Okay, here is one piece of content, an actual full page article covering Japan's most delicious graphic novels that are being adapted to TV. And I have really tuned into Japan and the Japanese culture naturally, but around this time, I my antennas go up because of Olympic coverage, and so here it is. I'm elephant earring this article that I noticed in the table of contents about this Japanese, what's going on in the Japanese culture, television culture, no less. Um, Also, it was recently Asian and Pacific Islander Heritage Month. So again, that naturally stands out to me right now. This does. A lot of recipes. What I'll do is find one of these recipes and commit to trying to bring it to fruition. I don't know which it'll be. This time of year, food and drink wise, I am into something light, light, taste wise and calorie and carb and all those counts wise, but also visually pleasing. And this has caught my eye. Spring herbs soup with frigola and pancetta. It looks really good. Not sure what the broth base is, but I don't want to talk too much about my cooking skills, but they are there. Um, so I'm gonna elephant ear that and move on to one or two videos more before it goes too far. I was actually very drawn to Sports Illustrated just based on the covers. Naturally, the WNBA here. Then Trevor Lawrence, a lot to say about the QB. And so we have here Making the Stallion graces the cover of Harper's Bazaar. Lovely photo, very attitude-ish, but strong and tolerable, for lack of a better word. As I get to the table of contents in this magazine, I also wanted to shed light on the upcoming September release of Rick Ross's new book. He partners with Neil Martinez Belkin once again to release a hustler's guide to building your empire type of book. So that is on my radar as well. And for anyone interested, be on the lookout there. And let's get to this table of contents. A lot of advertisers. A lot of beautiful photographs. We also, I have already looked through this magazine. I noticed that Martha Stewart um, is featured on page 206. I want to elephant ear that, but I won't skip this feature of Megan Thee Stallion that comes just before page 206. You see the rapper, the Houston rapper, artist, looking very comfortable, very chic, but comfortable. Well done, Harper's Bazaar. Making my way to page 206 to Elephant Ear, the Martha Stewart content. Because my goodness, look at that opener, that opening photo of her, the spread featuring Martha Stewart. She's giving angles, she's giving reflections, she's giving angel eyes, she's giving flow. Yeah, just really nice photo, Martha, in Harper's Bazaar. An elephant ear that page. And finally, Vogue. This summer's Vogue, I'll skim through. I literally, actually got this magazine by mail today. Have not opened it, have not looked through it. Wind down with me to Vogue's summer soundtrack. Another quick thing I noticed in Harper's Bazaar, they include zodiac signs and horoscopes, and I've really been on that kick since I got the first Harper's Bazaar and had a wonderful, amazing horoscope to read. So I've been on that kick, like getting into what my sign is saying, what it's doing. I'm a Sagittarius, so that means I have that masculine energy, that feminine energy, and sometimes they coexist and sometimes they don't. And um, a lot of times I'm caught in the middle, but you get used to it. Literally, my first look through this summer's Vogue. Cindy Crawford is obviously mentioned here. The letter from the editor includes the supermodel, a photograph of the supermodel. So much to see. Um, And I really couldn't give an honest elephant earring without taking the time necessary to go through and look through the magazine to get a visual reaction, and then go back through the magazine to actually read. I'm probably going through one edition a handful of times before I can actually get to read um, selected content. So this is my first run through, and thank you for joining me for the run through of this summer's Vogue, and come back to join me as I review it along with more content. Again, I'm into audiobooks. Most recently, I'm listening to them anywhere in the car, on my headphones, through speakers. I was almost drowned in audiobooks for a few weeks, maybe 1 or 2 weeks. I'm listening to them all the time. It is that convenience factor, no question about that. And we have the cover story here. Elephant ear that. There is that convenience factor, no doubt. And but again, here I am on my YouTube channel sharing with you these print publications that I appreciate so much, and the opportunity to um, review them. So that will be all for this video. And until next time, like last time, be well and join me again. Take care.